Easy, James here, and it's absolutely chucking it down. So if you can hear rain in the background, that's what it is. And some guy is literally running for his life getting soaked. Sorry. This is another one of those kind of down to earth kind of videos. I did one of these a while back when my Technics turntable died. Well, this is about that turntable again, but it's now a different problem. Well, no, it's the original problem. If you remember, the turntable died and wouldn't switch on, but I forgot to look into the original problem, which was the turntable spinning up really fast, because it seemed to work fine after I did the first fix, but this morning when I turned it on, it's literally started doing that thing again. So obviously that's a problem. So the rain is really putting me off. It's absolutely hammering it down. Just people running for their life. It's really funny. I shouldn't really laugh because that's probably going to be me caught out in that later because I've got to go out later. Anyway, right. This is the problem, okay? I'm only going to turn this on for a split second because I don't want to ruin the deck. Okay, so turn it on. And as you can see, it just spins up insanely fast. Now, one thing you should have noticed here, and that is the strobe indicator wasn't on. If we turn it back on, you can see that doesn't light up, and you can see that both 33 and 45 light are on at the same time. Okay, also everything else works, like the target light, the pitch LED, everything else is working fine. So we need to start looking into why that strobe light isn't coming on. So first thing you need to do is trace the problem back. Now the strobe indicator is powered by one of these. No, not a platter, the symbol on the slip mat, a transistor. Now, it's powered by a transistor, but I don't think that that transistor is what the problem is, because if that transistor did fail, all that would happen is the strobe indicator wouldn't come on, but the rest of the deck would work fine. Okay, so let me take the platter and the plastic thing off and I'll explain further. Okay, so I've got the cover off. Now, down on this side of the board, this transistor here, Q202, that's the transistor that controls the strobe illuminator, and what happens is this chip here outputs a small voltage to the base of this transistor at a certain frequency, and then this transistor switches those strobes on and off. Now I don't think this is what the problem is, because although the strobe illuminator isn't coming on, I don't think it's this, because if this transistor here was to ever go bad, what would happen is the strobe light wouldn't come on, but it wouldn't have any other effect on the turntable, because all this transistor does is controls that strobe. Okay, so it wouldn't be that's the problem. Now the other thing I noticed was both the speed indicator lights come on. Now there is another transistor down here, this one, which does partly control the 45 and 33 switch. Now, there's one thing I've noticed. Look, that is wobbly on there. Now, if we actually pull this up and turn it on, ta-da, the deck comes on as normal. Look what happens if I wiggle that. See, goes off. So that is what the problem is, that transistor there. Now, because it's wobbly like that, I don't know whether that's just the solder joints broken or the actual pad's lifted off the board. I would hate to think if it was the pad that's lifted off the board, because that means it's going to be a pain in the arse to fix. But I think it's more likely to be the solder joints, because if the pad's lifted, the chances are the connection will still be made. So I think it might be a dodgy solder joint. Now I think personally this deck has been severely tampered with, because not only did it have the problem with these transistors not being the original ones and the resistor coming off, but also now this. I think the guy that I brought this off has really done a bit of a nasty repair job on this. So either way, I'm going to take the board out and check that out. Obviously I'm going to unplug it first. Right, okay, good news. The pads haven't lifted. It's literally just the solder joints are broken. So the only reason why the solder joints would have broken like that is if that component was either forced, bent or whacked or something like that. So all I'm literally going to do is take the solder off of here. I'm going to suckle the solder off and put some fresh solder and resolder this component back on. Okay. Okay, there you go. So that's the ones I've just replaced, and the reason why the joints aren't shiny is because it's lead-free solder, but they are good strong joints. Okay, they're not dry, they're good solid joints. Right, now one more thing, I did notice that some of the heatsink compound had actually gone down onto the pins there, and it started to sort of ooze out a little bit. So what I'm actually going to do is I've got some alcohol in here. I'm actually going to clean the thermal paste off of here and put some fresh stuff on and put the heatsink back on there, because I did notice that. So while I got it apart, it's rude not to, so I'm just going to mop this off with alcohol and put some fresh stuff on. So bear with me while I do that. Right, this part here is the motor driver IC, and you don't normally get to see this because there's normally a heatsink on top. So while I've got it off, if you need the part number, there it is. Have a good look. Right, okay, so as you can see, I put a fresh layer of thermal paste on top of there. So I just got to put the heatsink back on top. Job done. There we go, job done. And that's on there nice and straight, nice and tight. And there's not so much paste on there that it's all coming out everywhere. Now what I'm going to do is, while I've got the chance, I'm going to do the same to this transistor up here as well, because it's made a little bit of a mess. So I'm just going to replace all of that as well while I'm at it. There we go, got that back on. That was a real mess. I tell you, that stuff gets everywhere. It's sticky and horrible. It gets all over the place. It's a real mess. Right, that's that done. So now all I've got to do is just put this thing back together, fire the beast up and see if it works. So bear with me while I put this back in. Right, so I've got the platter back on. I've turned the lamp off. So here we go. There we go. Problem solved. And the pitch is spot on in the middle, and it works. Let's just check the pitch. Yep, nice, spot on. And the electronic brake works properly now as well. Excellent. Yeah, just checking. Right, so there you go, just a quick repair job, nothing special, quick video. People said they like these down-to-earth kind of videos, so I thought maybe I might as well film me doing it. I had to do it anyway, so but there you go. So, you know, it's just nice to do these things yourself. I'm not being funny, but if you turn the deck on and it started doing that, you'd probably consider taking it to a shop. Now, a shop would probably charge you an arm and a leg for doing that, and they wouldn't have done the extra little things that I did, like change the thermal paste on the two sinks. You know, they wouldn't have done any of that, and they would have probably charged you an arm and a leg. Most probably they would have turned around and made up some crap about loads of components failing, even though it was just some solder joints that you did yourself. So, you know, this is what makes me want to do these videos, because people rip you off for things like that. Straightforward job, easily done, and it took me about 15-20 minutes. 15-20 minutes work. So there you go. I hope this video has been a help. I hope you like it, and I'll try and get some more videos up. I will do the other video about the strobe indicator, because a few people have asked about that. So I'll go through that one next. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Nice one.